All right, time to talk about Mr. Mohamed or Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. You know, a proud son of the land, Ghana. He was born on the 7th of December 1950 in Bimbilla, like I told you. Born 7th December 1950. He is a Ghanaian lawyer, a diplomat, a politician, and an academic, from Ghana, who has served as an international civil servant since 2006. Since 2006, he has been serving as an international civil servant. He last served as the United Nations Special Representative of the Secretary General for West Africa and the Sahel, and the former head of ECOWAS. I mean, you know us, from April 2014 to April 2001. Previously, he served as the UNSRSG and head of the joint UNAU peacekeeping mission for Darfur. That is between 2012 and 2014. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas, proud son of the soil Ghana, the Secretary General of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Group of States. Between 2010 and 2012, he served that particular secretariat. The Secretary to the General of the African, Caribbean and Pacific Group of States between 2010 and 2012. And then the President of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, between 2006 and 2009. Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. Usually, when you give Ghanaians the opportunity, they excel. Our systems are not favoring us, so usually intelligent people wallow around here, they mash up here, go into the ghettos. He was born in Bimbilla. Listen, Bimbilla is a suburb of Yendi. And even Yendi itself cannot be called a city. Even Yendi itself cannot be called a city. Where he was born, around that area, Anas Armiao Anas was born too. Yes, my very own good brethren, Anas Armiao Anas, he was born around that area too. But look at where the place is. Lungu, Kona, look at where it is. Northern region, Bimbilla, a suburb of Yendi. Even Yendi itself is not a city yet, even though it's a capital of a district. That is where he was born. If you give the Ghanaian the opportunity, listen man, they excel. Ghanaians are naturally people of integrity. When they play according to rules, when they are given a level playground to play according to fair rules, Ghanaians are a people of integrity. So when Ghanaians move out of Ghana and they have a fair ground to play, fair rules to play along, Ghanaians excel. That is how Kam Kofi Annan excelled. Because the systems, the structures he rode on presented him opportunities of fair opportunities. Walk into our ghettos and you find brilliant people, intelligent people. Most of them are thieves, robbers, petty thieves, pocket pick. Do you think it's easy to pickpocket? It takes a lot of intelligence to pickpocket. Pickpocket. It takes a lot of intelligence to do it. You see, armed robbery, thievery. It takes some amount of intelligence to do. Dumb people can't do it. So most of these people who end up becoming pickpocketers, who end up becoming armed robbers, petty thieves, smart people who were not being treated fairly by the system turned them into monsters. So they will use their intelligence against the system. These people, when they steal, because they are so much intelligent and smart, they don't hide the money in their rooms. They don't go and put it under their beds. Pickpockets, robbers, those smart people, they don't steal like that. Only dumb politicians steal like that. It is only dumb politicians who steal like that. Even the smart ones among them, the politicians, don't steal like that. They steal smartly. What am I driving at? What I'm saying is, give a Ghanaian the opportunity to play according to fair rules and he will excel. So go to Germany, go down to UK, Britain, go straight down to America, US, and you find Ghanaians doing amazing, building those places with their intellectual capacity. But you come to Ghana, it doesn't matter how intelligent you are, the system will frustrate you, frustrate the hell out of you, render you useless with your intelligence. As a matter of fact, even in Ghana, intelligent people are referred to as too knowing people. So intelligent people shy away, they don't want to show, they don't want to flex it. Till date, when I write my CV, I had to take certain things off, depending on where I am sending the CV to. Cristero, till date, if he's writing his CV, he has to take certain things, sets off, so as to fit into where he's writing the CV to. You, the one listening to me, I am very sure it applies to you when you're writing your CV. Depending on where you're taking the CV to, you have to eliminate certain things, hide certain things, because you feel when you take it there, people will feel threatened and you'll not be given the opportunity. In Ghana, people with first-class degrees, first-class masters and PhDs, they don't get employment because no boss wants to employ them. They are scared when they come, they will snatch the jobs. Listen, man, this is the Ghanaian, this is the system we're running here in Ghana. So intelligent people are victimized. People with intelligence are victimized into hiding. So they don't show it. They want to play along. So they play dumb, when in actual sense, most of them are smart people, intelligent people. Once they move out of the shores of Ghana and they get a level playground, systems are favorable and appreciative of their intelligence, they flaunt it and they flourish. This is one of them I'm talking about, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. He attended Infantipim School, Cape Coast, and then to the Government Secretariat School, now the Tamale Secondary School, Tamale. He holds degree in Political Science from University of Ghana, Legon, BA, 1973. And the Cornell University, New York City, MA, 1977, PhD, 1980. He has a law degree from Case Western Reserve University, Cleveland, Ohio. He was admitted to practice law in Ghana and the state of Ohio. His working in the United States includes teaching at Oberlin College, Ohio, and practicing law with the Legal Aid Society of Cleveland and the Cleveland, Ohio Law Office of Forbes and Timor. He returned to Ghana, where he became a school administrator. When he returned to Ghana, of all he gathered, he became a school administrator. Of course, it's good. A school administrator needs to be very much equipped. So for all the experiences he gathered from the United States, when he came down to Ghana, he first of all became a school administrator. Yefi a crone called then Christian can say. Yefi Bakune call immune. No 9, no 10. So when he came to Ghana, he became a school administrator. He ventured into politics and became the Deputy Foreign Secretary. Chambas first entered government in 1987 as a Deputy Foreign Secretary of Ghana. He was a member of the Head of States Summit delegations to a number of countries, including the US, China, UK, France, Malaysia, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. Listen, man. I take you through that one more time. He was a member of the head of states summit delegations to a number of countries, including the US, China, UK, France, Malaysia, Nigeria, and Zimbabwe. He led Ghana's delegation to the UN General Assembly, ministerial meetings of the OAU and the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and the Non-Aligned Movement and the Commonwealth. He led Ghana. Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas is the man on my profile table, is the man who is stripping naked by way of profile. Is the man who putting some honor upon, some respect pan. Is the man who giving some 24 gunshot salute rakakakakaka for. He served as MP for Bimbila, where he was born from January 1993 to January 1997. On the ticket of the National Democratic Congress, NDC, he was the first Deputy Speaker of the Ghanaian Parliament, 1993 and 1994, and thereafter was appointed Deputy Foreign Minister. As first Deputy Speaker, he was Chairman of the Appointments and Privileges Committees of the Parliament. In 1993 to 1994, he chaired the Foreign Affairs Committee of Parliament with oversight responsibility for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. Chambas came to international importance as mediator between the parties of the first Liberian Civil War of the 1990s and later the Ivorian Civil War in the early 2000s. Certainly, he is a man of honor, a man of a lot of credentials, a man worth our attention and exactly what we are doing. He is centrally involved in the ECOWAS mediation efforts in Liberia. He directly participated in the negotiations leading to the agreement ending the Liberian Civil War. So if you talk about the Liberian Civil War and how it ended, you give some amount of credit to this man because he has played a major role in ending that particular war in Liberia. Listen, it is easy to start a war, but very difficult to end. So when people mediate and play roles to end a war, they deserve honor. To start a war, nobody deserves an honor for it because it's easy. Anyone at all can start a war. It is easy to start a war, but it is difficult, extremely difficult to end a war. So when you hear people have mediated, the people who play the mediation role for the war to end are a people you must give some respect to, you must put some honor upon them. You must give them a tall ratings like Mountain Afajato because it's not easy to put an end to war. And this man I'm talking about, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas, came to international importance as a mediator between the parties of the first Liberian Civil War of the 1990s and later the Ivorian Civil War in the early 2000s. He got involved in the ECOWAS mediation efforts in Liberia. He directly participated in the negotiations leading to the agreements ending the Liberian Civil War. In the interim, Chambas lost his parliamentary seat in 1996 because he was actively involved playing other international roles. So he lost his parliamentary seat. And the then government of President Jerry John Rawlings removed him from the foreign ministry and put him in charge of Ghana's primary education system because of his experience from the United States. Remember I told you in the United States he taught, he was a teacher in the United States and all of that. So looking at his experience, the president of Ghana at that time, Jerry John Rawlings, removed him from Foreign Affairs Ministry and brought him to the Ghana's primary education, to actually take charge of the Ghana's primary education system. Reshuffling is part of every vibrant government. Growing up, I was actively participating in inter-houses quiz competition, current affairs, my junior high days. And those days, you have to keep updating yourself about the ministers because they keep changing. Today, you don't need to update. And if you are a quiz, if you are a participant, if you are a representative of your school and you do quiz and you do current affairs and you have to study the ministers of Ghana. You don't need to be updating yourself. You don't need to be upgrading. No, because stagnant. They are the same. The value is the same all the time. But for me, growing up, under the presidency of Jerry John Rawlings, under John Ejekum Kufuor, you know, we participated in quizzes and current affairs. Every day, every now and then, you need to buy a newspaper and look at the ministers, whether they've changed some or not, because it was constant. But today, one finance minister, 8 terms, or the one finance minister. Today, one minister, from the beginning to the end, perfect. Apart from him, nobody can do the job. But those days, President Kufuor even brought him into his government. Reshuffling. They will make sure they change you, reshuffle you, because too much comfort. They say familiarity breeds what? Contempt. Too much familiarity breeds contempt. When you leave a man at one place for a long time, it breeds corruption, it breeds some, you know. So it is for a purpose. Wise governments do reshuffling. They play the people like chess. You put this one here, another time you realize, no, you bring him here, you put this one here, you know, you reshuffle them because too much familiarity will breed contempt. Today's fuckery of a government will not do it. Even when the people are calling for the resignation of one of them, he thinks, no man, he is the best. Nobody can make me change him. But this man was reshuffled. He was changed from foreign ministry. They did not even take him to a major, you know, they brought him to come and reform Ghana's primary education system. And he agreed. He humbled himself. He came down. That was a demotion, but he came down to that level to do the job. For him, when you call him, he responds. You know, you call him, he responds. You call him, he responds. Between April 1997 and December 2000, Chambas was appointed the Deputy Minister of Education in charge of tertiary education, another upgrade from the primary to another upgrade. In that capacity, he had direct responsibility for the country's 5 universities, 10 polytechnics, and agencies stroke institutions or institutions charged with formulation of policies on higher education, accreditation, and maintenance of standards in tertiary institutions. Chambas then again executed his duties perfectly well. Chambas was involved in reform of tertiary education, which included diversification of funding, cost sharing, the introduction of the Ghana Education Trust Fund, aimed to improve the quality and financial standing of tertiary institutions. So today, if you hear Get Fund, Ghana Education Trust Fund, you credit this man for it. It was under his watch. He initiated that particular policy. But usually we give the credit to the president and not the people who actually formulated the policy. But he was the formulator of that particular policy. The Get Fund policy is the brainchild of this man I'm talking about, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. And that particular policy is aimed at improving the quality and financial standing of tertiary institutions. He also led negotiations and conflict resolution processes during students' protests and industrial disputes between university and polytechnic teachers and other staff members. Chambas was at the time suggested in the Ghanaian press as a candidate for the New Patriotic Party. Now return to Parliament, regaining his seat in the year 2000, he was also a member of the Commonwealth Ministerial Action Group, which worked to facilitate a transition to constitutionalized democratic governance in Nigeria, Sierra Leone, and the Gambia. Re-elected on December 7, 2000, on the ticket of the National Democratic Congress again, shortly after, he was nominated to head ECOWAS by Ghanaian President John Kufuor. So listen, man, he was an NDC man, and he was an NDC MP, But John Kufuor, president of Ghana at the time on the ticket of the MPP, saw it wise to nominate him, to appoint him to head ECOWAS to head ECOWAS at that time. Kufuor was very good at that. He used Dr. Kwesi Indom, even though Dr. Kwesi Indom belonged to CPP. He used him as his finance minister at a point in time. Kufuor did not care that much. That winner takes it all policy, he didn't play that game. And Kufuor's presidency, Kufuor's governance is one of the best of the Fourth Republic. You have the right to your opinion, but when I look around and read around and pay attention to where I can recall, Kufuor's government is one of the best of the Fourth Republic. He was not biased. He didn't care the party you belong to. When he finds the need to make use of you, he poaches you. He made use of Kwesi Indom. He made use of this man who is an NDC man. Kwesi Indom at the time was a CPP man. So Kufuor did not look at the fact that he belongs to the NDC and he's a ticket, but he's an MP on the ticket of the NDC. Kufuor still nominated him to head ECOWAS at the time. In 2000, he was the ranking member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Foreign Affairs of the Minority National Democratic Congress. He was also a member of the Select Committee on Education and the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation. Who am I talking about? I'm talking about Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. In the year 2001, Chambas was elected as the Executive Secretary of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, and acceded to the office on 1st February 2002. As Executive Secretary of ECOWAS, he was Chief Executive of the 15-person Executive Secretariat of the International Organization from 2002 to 2006. On 20th December 2012, Chambas was appointed as Joint Special Representative for Darfur and head of the United Nations African Union Mission in Darfur by the United Nations Secretary General Ban Ki-moon at the time, and African Union Commission Chairperson. He succeeds Ibrahim Gambari of Nigeria. On 12 September 2014, he was appointed Special Representative of the Secretary General and head of the United Nations Office for West Africa and the Sahel. He left office in April 2001 with Mahat Salah replacing him. He is called Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas, a proud son of the soil Ghana, an international figure, a diplomat, a politician, a lawyer, and most importantly, a Ghanaian. We are proud of you. You are a legend. He doesn't play too much party colors, and I think that's why Kufuor spotted him and made use of him. He wasn't too much into the party nonsense. When your party is wrong, even when your party is wrong, you still defend your party with lies. You defend with all your... Listen, man, he wasn't playing that kind of politics. And that was why Kufuor saw the need to make use of him, even though he did not belong to Kufuor's party at the time. He is a legend worth emulating, and today we honor him. 24 gunshot salute, Dr. Mohamed Ibn Chambas. You are a legend.